No country should have death penalty.
A local court in Doha has handed death sentence to 8 former Indian Navy personnel who worked for a company there. The Indian government expressed shock at the ruling and stated that all the legal options would be explored to save them. So here we are with Senior Advocate Anand Grover to know how India can save our ex-Navy officers. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
So, what are the legal remedies that are accessible to India?
Well, they won't be accessible directly to India at the moment. First of all, in every court where this is of course a military tribunal, because they appear to have sentenced our sailors, ex-sailors, on the basis of alleged espionage and security breach. So since that is a tribunal, there has to be an appeal. So there will be procedures in Qatar, which we have to follow. And from what I understand from the reports in the press and elsewhere, the Indian government is following that. So a lot of speculation is going on about whether we can go to the ICJ, etc., etc. That doesn't come in at the moment. Only after we exhaust our remedies in Qatar, because any criminal kind of tribunal which decides against a person, it has to be appealable. Suppose it were not appealable, then that would be an point at which we can approach the ICJ, but there are other issues there which we don't have to go into now. So we have to basically what we call, exhaust domestic remedies in Qatar. As far as the non-government organizations are concerned, civil society is concerned, we are as much concerned because personally, I don't think anybody should be meted out death penalty. I never use the word award because it's not an award. It's meted out death penalty because that is actually against international law. Under Article 6 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, actually everybody has to phase out death penalty, and ultimately no country should have death penalty. Those that have it can only use it for the most serious of offenses. So whether espionage is the most serious is an issue. Secondly, but of course we can't change the Qatari law, but basically they have to follow certain procedures under international law. And if they don't follow those procedures, like in the Kulbhushan case, they did not provide consular access, legal counsel, etc., etc. And if they don't provide, then that becomes an occasion to invoke the ICJ jurisdiction. At the moment, that's premature. We have to wait. Also, we don't know all the facts because this is a military tribunal. Normally, unfortunately, this is very sad state of affairs. There's no reason why they can't be tried like a criminal court in an open, transparent manner. They don't have to make all the secrets so-called public, but it should be open and transparent. So because it's not transparent, we don't know all the facts.
So what should be the exact next step for India?
Well, the Indian government is already following the right steps. They're in contact with the not only the persons concerned, the ex-sailors, etc., who have been meted out death penalty, but they're also in contact with their relatives. So they're giving access to them. I think we in India should actually raise, our voice as the public, saying that this is not on. People should not be given death penalty, whatever may be the crime. But then, they will point to us and say, you have a death penalty. But there's no reason why we should not argue that. And as far as I'm concerned, I think nobody should be meted out. So I'm going to be raising my voice. I'm contacting the international UN fora, special rapporteurs, to issue an appeal that people who have been meted out death penalty should not be meted out death penalty. So we have to raise our voice internationally, and the government has to do its own work in the diplomatic channels, not only in terms of legal procedures to be followed in Qatar, but also India has a huge capability diplomatically, right from the 50s. And now it has more capacity because it's a growing country. It has good relations, economic relations with lots of countries. So the government has that capacity to diplomatically ensure things don't happen. There are so many avenues open. So those avenues the government will explore, So I don't have any doubt about that. But I think we should not keep quiet. We should raise this issue in India, elsewhere, saying that any case is not fit for death penalty. And we will get a lot of support on that. And we should also try to make sure that India has not actually put anybody to death for a long time. So I think that's a good record. And we ultimately have to face our death penalty ourselves, but we should not be afraid of raising a voice, not only in India, with a lot of respect to the Qataris. Not saying that the Qataris have not followed the law and they don't have procedures, but they are a sovereign country. We have to follow their law in this particular case. But saying that death penalty is not the appropriate punishment for anything, even for espionage. Okay, so even in Kulbhushan's case, there is no reason why any kind of serious sentence should be meted out. We don't know what's happening there right now. Then there's a need for everybody to speak up, because death penalty is being given by humans to humans, which is actually, in my view, immoral.
So how are Qatar's laws different from Indian?
Well, they are a civil law country. They have other procedures. Now, this is a military tribunal. So, military tribunal, we have to check up what is the procedure there. So even in our country, the military tribunals are subject to appeal, high court proceedings. So, if they are not subject to that, then there's, as I said, route to go. We'll have to find out the procedures in Qatar and find out whether those procedures are followed or not.
So, thank you so much.
Not at all, Subhadra. Nice being here.